Hans van Diemen. The red line set at 6,800 RPM on his rev counter, the most important gauge to a racing driver. A thoughtful Antonio Simões sharing the front row of the grid with Eddie Irvine, and the Portuguese driver looking for a good result to end the season. The eyes of Alain Menu in the mirror of his Reynard Formula Ford chassis. The two cars ahead of him on the front row, both Van Diemen's, and Alain Menu would want them in his mirrors as soon as possible. David Coyne there settling down into the Swift chassis, the third make of car on the front two rows of the grid, and he also will be keen to prove the Swift is the best chassis, he's the best driver, he'll want to be winning the Formula Ford Festival. The final of the first edition Formula Ford Festival, and the front four rows of the grid dominated by the British Championship runners. British champion from Northern Ireland, Eddie Irvine, on pole position. Alongside him, Portuguese driver Antonio Simões, fourth in this year's British Series. Inside of the second row, third British runner, Alain Menu from Switzerland. Beside him, David Coyne. The third row, Jose Cordova from Brazil, sharing that with Thomas Mazzara from Australia. The red light on, 20 laps, a dry track, waiting for the green light. Eddie Irvine will be keen to make most of his pole position, but Simões is matching him off the grid at the moment. Wheel to wheel, but Irvine looks like he's got it. Coyne is pushing Menu for third, but Simões has second, Coyne third, Menu fourth, fifth place Mazzara. Now Irvine will be keen to make the most of the break. Coyne will want to get Simões before he gets away, and this is what I think Coyne feared the most, having not won his semi-final. He's got Simões between him and Irvine, and this could be the festival virtually won for Eddie Irvine if he makes the most of this first lap break. Irvine through. Coyne tried a lunge at Simões at Druids, but he couldn't get through, and Simões now is probably going to hold them back. Irvine, a clean pair of heels to the rest of the pack, but Coyne will be making the most to get by at paddock on this lap. He cannot afford too many laps behind Simões, while Irvine has a clear track ahead of him. Coyne then looks for the inside. A beautiful move. Simões caught unawares. Coyne slides wide. Alain Menu comes up the inside now. Coyne will be livid with himself. He's lost 2-3 places. He'll be fuming. And it's Alain Menu in the Reynard that comes through into second place now. Coyne rubbing wheels with Mazzara in third all the time. Irvine's going away. Menu it was who shadowed Irvine in the quarterfinal and the semi-final. And now he's got through. Coyne beautifully outbraked Simões for paddock, but he was just going too quick, slid wide, and now he's going to be cursing his luck. Irvine away all the time, edging away, while Coyne now must battle hard for second place. Again now, trying to tee up, this time a different man ahead of him. This time it's Alain Menu, the Swiss driver. He will have seen Coyne go inside Simões. He will be making sure he doesn't make the same mistake, but again, the door is left open, and Coyne again does the same manoeuvre. Tremendous late braking by Coyne, catching these other experienced drivers. This time he didn't slide so wide. He's made it through. He's in second place, but is the damage already done? Can he close down that lead that Eddie Irvine already has? 2 to 3 seconds, maybe it is, maybe less. We'll now see what Coyne can do. Third now is Menu, fourth Mazzara, fifth Simões, sixth Cordova, seventh Richard Dean, and eighth the Scot Alan McNish. Coyne there trying everything, using every bit of track and more, and maybe a little bit too keen. He could have cost himself some time there. Now he's got Menu back inside him, and really Coyne is trying too hard to make his mends, and he's going to be cursing himself for the second time in this Formula Ford final. This time Menu is not going to leave such a wide gap, and Coyne's one opening has been lost. And here, straight away, of course, now we're into the defensive tactics. Menu is going to hold the inside line. Coyne is trying to shade him around the outside, but Menu's too experienced to let that trick pay off. Van Diemen leading Reynard, leading Swift. The 3 different makes of chassis, the first 3 places. British champion leads the Swiss driver Alain Menu, who has nevertheless been over here racing the British Series. And in third place, David Coyne, the Swift chassis. A huge lead, really, by Formula Ford standards. Eddie Irvine powering away from the pack. In the background, Simões looking to take fourth off Mazzara, and through he goes. Portuguese driver Simões, who was pushed back by Coyne, is now back into fourth place. Fifth Mazzara. Sixth, a battle waging there between Cordova and Richard Dean and Alan McNish. 3 blue cars, Cordova, Dean and McNish, all fighting hard. Mazzara now pushed down a place by Simoes. These two dropping away slightly from the battle from second between Menu and David Coyne. Slithering and sliding through. Cordova moving up towards Mazzara's gearbox now. He's been coming from the behind all the way through this weekend, and he'll be now there. Off we have 85 Mark Woodwiss. He's knocked a front wheel off the car. Doesn't look too much damage. He'll soon be out. I think he's moving slowly more through the disappointment of crashing out, and hasn't affected. Coyne now again trying this outside line. He can't really do it with Menu, but he has to try something. He has to try and get through, as he sees Irvine slipping away. Already 5 laps completed, 15 to go. Coyne must know that he's quicker than Menu if he can get past him. Yellow flag's been waved. It won't affect them too much. They have to slow a little bit when the flag is being waved to be cautious. And there's no car on the track or anything like that. But Coyne now teed up to try and get past Swiss driver Alain Menu. But Menu has seen Coyne slice past Simoes. He's had Coyne slice past him into paddock, and I can't see him leaving a gap again, but he's letting Coyne try the long outside. Coyne now trying to tee Menu up for Druids, but Menu again holding the inside line. All the time Menu driving this defensive line. Irvine goes further and further away. Simoes sliding very wide in his efforts to try and catch up again with Coyne. A wild move there. Well, Mazzara, who we'd hoped might have been more up front, is beginning to fall back into the clutches of Jose Cordova. So a dice beginning to liven up for 5th place. But Simoes can't catch them to fight for 2nd. Irvine well clear. Menu not being challenged so much by Coyne at the moment. 4th Simoes, but here 5th place Cordova trying to take that 5th place off Mazzara, trying to go around the outside at Paddock Hill corner, but it didn't come off quite that time. They'll be charging up to Druids there, but Zara, in fact, Cordova under pressure now from Richard Dean. Dean has got his front wheels inside, but Nish looking for any mistake by the 2 in front of him, and really the dice at the moment here for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. There, Jose Cordova. Zara, Cordova. Dean in a Swift chassis there in the middle of the pack there. Richard Dean had a good festival. Same chassis as David Coyne has got, who's running in the 3rd place now. Still unable to answer Menu. Menu maybe is holding the gap now. Now he's not being so defensive, but the damage is possibly already done, and Irvine well ahead. Dean wants to get by Cordova. Cordova wants to get by Mazzara. But at the moment, they're all on the neat racing line, the ideal line. They're all trying to close the gaps. Coyne now through Graham Hill Bend, still that tantalising 2 cars lengths behind Manu. Through Surtees. Coyne now, this is where he needs to be right into Alain Manu's Reynard gearbox, but he's not close enough this time for the slipstream. In the meantime, Irvine perhaps not getting away anymore. If anything, they seem to be certainly holding that gap. But then, obviously, Irvine doesn't need to try that hard. As you can see, he's got a gap of a 2nd or 2. That'll do for the moment. Nearly halfway through the Formula Ford Festival. And Manu again now beginning to take the inside line to defend from the lunges of Dave Coyne's Trenair Swift chassis. Alain Menu actually very quick through Surtees there. He pulled away a little bit from Coyne, and that's where Coyne's problem appears to be, because he needs to be much closer into clearways there before they come onto the straight in order to try and slipstream past to get 2nd place. But Menu does seem to be very slowly closing that gap down. If he can stop looking in his mirrors and stop needing to defend his place from Coyne, then he could well begin to close in. Here's the battle still waging. Mazzara now breathing space. But Cordova, in fact, McNish has displaced Dean, so it's the 17-year-old Scots boy who's come forward to attack the Brazilian Jose Cordova. McNish has slipped past Dean, and he's now trying to get past Cordova. In the background, Julian Westwood, who had that shunt, he's come through very well. He's now latched onto the back of Dean, so kind of a battle here for 8th place. Mazzara, Cordova, McNish, Dean, and coming into the picture, Julian Westwood. So still the battle rages. Everybody trying the positions to move up. A 2-second lead for Irvine, still out front, still safe. Manu pulling away from Coyne, Coyne clear from Somos. These first 4 now are very spaced out for Formula Ford standards. And it's really the battle for 5th from Mazzara. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th, all nose to tail here. Over half distance down this 20-lap first edition World Cup Festival. This time, Jose Cordova really in the slipstream. Really looking to get past Mazzara. He got the perfect toe, but as usual, he's given the outside choice only. He'll try and transfer the outside choice into the inside, but meanwhile, McNish had a look up the inside. McNish saw what Cordova was doing, and only 17 years old, but he knows how to make an overtaking manoeuvre. And seeing the move that Cordova was trying to pull, McNish was quick to pounce, and really is a very talented young driver, a kartist moving up into single-seater racing, first car racing for his first season, and really a Scot with a great future in motorsport predicted by most people. But for the moment, he'll just want to, 4th position would be very impressive for him, and that's what he's got his sights set on. Thomas Mazzara holding that position. Cordova looks to the outside, looks to the inside. Mazzara's not having any of that. McNish again holds back and tries to get the run at them out of paddock. And there again, he's diving up the inside, but Cordova matches that move. So each time McNish holding back at paddock, he sees Cordova and Mazzara shuffling themselves to the inside and tries to get a run through paddock to get up the inside at Druids. Manu perhaps an inch nearer Irvine. All 4 seem to be inching forward. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but 7 laps to go and Irvine's still doing well out front. Of course, not only chassis that are at stake and honoured here, it's the engine tuners, these 1600cc standard Ford engines, very evenly matched, but they're tuned by different tuners. And here Cordova again, the outside down. This time he's done it. Very good. He closed Mazzara down, but oh, has he? There we go. McNish is going to make the most of this. He's going to have a place, thank you very much. And again, Cordova tried to go around the outside. Mazzara braked when he thought was the last possible point, and it obviously was the last possible point, because Cordova braked too late, ran wide, and lost not only the position he'd just taken, but here Irvine lapping young Justin Bell there. Justin Bell, we saw, has done very well to get into the Formula Ford final, but he had some engine troubles on the grid, the son of World Sports Car champion Derek Bell. But here this battle rages. Mazzara, a little bit of breathing space over Alan McNish. Now, what will McNish try on Mazzara? He's got Cordova bringing down his neck. He looks to the inside, but Mazzara again hugs that inside line. Cordova now is doing the McNish trick of trying to get them both if any mistakes are made. And McNish trying the outside line, and Cordova going even more outside, a touch of wheels, and tremendous driving by Alan McNish. That, for a 17-year-old, is sheer bravery, forceful driving, but clean forceful driving. He went up on the outside and just closed Mazzara down, and that really was some impressive overtaking. So McNish now is through to that 5th place, but there's a long gap to the big 4, as it were, up ahead, and he'll be doing his most just to merely make a gap. Alain Manu has definitely closed on Irvine, but really there's very little time for him to actually catch and overtake, with a battle for 5th that still rages. Cordova now determined to get the place back, tries an outside-inside manoeuvre, doesn't quite come off. McNish quick through paddock, quick to take the inside up to Druids, and Cordova now having his hands full of very close Thomas Mazzara. Richard Dean still in the picture there, and Julian Westwood in his repaired chassis, still pretty, maybe just as quick as it could have been, and he's tacking in on the back of that bunch. Still some very impressive drives by young British drivers in this Formula Ford Festival this year, and certainly we will see people like McNish and Dean and Westwood coming forward in the future years. But at the moment, the men that are definitely going forward are Eddie Irvine, Alain Menu and David Coyne. But this battle for fifth is keeping our attention at the moment. They storm past the pits, line abreast, slipstreaming, neither wanting to give space. If you go to the outside, you might lose the place behind you. And everybody looking for an inch through. Tremendous Formula Ford dicing. McNish again holding the inside line. Cordova not wishing to try the outside line for fear of losing the place to Mazzara. And meanwhile, Dean just drives around the outside of Mazzara. Lovely stuff. Irvine showing signs of getting a little bit ragged there. Menu second, third Coyne, but still this fifth place dice goes on and on. McNish still leading. Only 2 laps left for McNish to finish a very impressive fifth. Number 5 on the car, perhaps that's where he's destined to be, but Cordova's got other ideas, as has Richard Dean. Mazzara now dropping back. Cordova now has a tremendous burst out the outside. There was no way. And a similar manoeuvre that he did with Mazzara. Again, the guy on the inside, this time McNish said, well, this is as late as you can possibly break for paddock. And Cordova went flying past on the outside and out onto the old circuit and has lost another place, as he did when he tried the same manoeuvre on Mazzara. So Dean now up to 6th. Cordova 7th, and I see Westwood through to a good 8th, having got past Mazzara. I don't know, Thomas having troubles and dropping to the back of this pack. So McNish now has breathing space as he starts up to his last lap. Irvine there, going through his Scholar engine, looking likely to beat the Minister-powered Alain Menu. The battle for 5th looks like going to be McNish's now, and really it's Richard Dean going to have a go at Cordova. Has had a go at Cordova, rather. Can he hold him off? 2 British drivers charging through, but Dean is closing in on McNish. McNish shouldn't be easing up too much yet. Out front, Irvine well on his way down bottom straight. Round paddock though, round Druids. McNish keeps that 5th position. Here is Eddie Irvine then, his Scholar Tune engine powering his Van Diemen. British champion, heat winner, quarter-final winner, semi-final winner, and really the end of a comprehensively amazingly successful year for Eddie Irvine, who hopes to go forward to Formula 3. There, the checkered flag, the winner of the 1st edition Formula Ford Festival, Eddie Irvine from Northern Ireland. 2nd, Alain Menu from Switzerland. 3rd, England's David Coyne. 4th, Portugal Simoes. 5th, an excellent 5th for young Alain Menu from Scotland. 6th, Richard Dean. 7th, Cordova. 8th, Julian Westwood. And 9th, Thomas Mazzara from Australia. Confirmation then of the results of the 1st edition Formula Ford Festival. In 6th place, Richard Dean. 5th, the young Scot Alain McNish. 4th, Antonio Simoes from Portugal. 3rd, the experienced David Coyne. 2nd place, the Swiss driver Alain Menu. But the British champion and winner of the 1st edition Formula Ford Festival, Eddie Irvine from Northern Ireland.
Well done, Ed.